So whether we like it or not, whether we want to read it or not, our budget was transferred to these media outlets and they often write to destroy us, and this happens in almost all African countries and especially French-speaking countries. Comrades, good morning. I hope everyone woke up very well and we are now entering the last quarter of 2025. This is the place for me to pay a heartfelt tribute to our defense forces who continue to fight on all fronts to ensure that Burkina Faso remains standing and holds out. It is also the place for me to congratulate you for all the work you have done throughout the year so far, for your resilience, for your selflessness, for your hard work, and I encourage you to continue doing so that our country can shine throughout Africa and throughout the world. This morning, I would like to talk to you about three main topics. The first topic concerns fraud. The second topic concerns FOBO, the initiative that we launched, and finally the UACOs. On the fraud aspect, I wanted to draw everyone's attention to a phenomenon that has persisted for several years. These are individuals, some of whom travel around the country, often visiting economic operators, and even people who come to invest in Burkina Faso. Their goal is to defraud them by making them understand that in order to obtain contracts at the state level, they have to pay certain sums. Some people come to invest in Burkina Faso only to be defrauded by the same acts. Others also travel around, making Burkinabe people who want to have audiences understand, and who are paying for them, who defraud them, that they have to pay money to have audiences at the presidency or even in certain ministries. So, I wanted to draw everyone's attention here and, as we say, we are in a revolution and these are things that no longer exist in Burkina Faso. Everyone needs to understand that in order to have a market, you have to follow the rules, work properly to get your market. There is no question of paying anyone 5 francs to get a deal. These are old political practices, but you see, they have remained ingrained in the genes of some people and they get scammed. As a result, they tire out our gendarmes and police officers with constant investigations into individuals who scam them. For those who come to invest in Burkina Faso or whatever, it is the same thing to get an audience with the presidency or a particular institution. I think there are several points of entry. We have the Office of Advisors, which is there. We have the Office of Major Projects. We have the Protocols Department. If you need to invest or need specific information, you can contact people. So it is again to remind everyone that these are practices that are banned today and to draw the attention of people so that they are no longer scammed. The second topic concerns FOMIBO, which has been particularly popular since its launch and has managed to unite people and bring them together. Thank God, that's all we want, for people to unite and build our country. But many people, both inside and outside Burkina Faso, in the diaspora and also friends of Burkina Faso, have wanted to contribute to Faso MBO but have had difficulties because, up until now, Faso MBO has only accepted donations in kind. So, I had requested work at the Treasury, which is currently complete. This involves us creating an account number for each region at the Treasury so that people, wherever they are, can contribute to their region. This is the Faso Rizeka platform, where we have created windows so that each region can have a specific window for people to contribute. It will be very transparent so that if people wish, we should be able to print a list of all those who have contributed, along with the amounts, each month. So whether it's a Burkinabe from within or outside, or someone who wants to contribute so that their region can have infrastructure, can improve itself, to help in the face of the MBO in its momentum, they will be able to do so from now on. I will therefore order the launch of this operation right away. So you are all invited to contribute in your different regions, even if your regions have not yet received their brigades, but it is on the way, it is coming. But we must start the work, which can already be done. So each of you could contribute to improving your region or to helping build infrastructure. Let's remember that no one will come and build our country for us. It starts with us first, and I think that everyone can do something. The third topic concerns the UACO, the African Universities of Communication, which have just closed this week, an event that may go unnoticed but is of capital importance. We spend time making people understand that communication is a very important and strategic lever, especially in times of war. It is through communication that the imperialists have always destroyed Africa. All these wars, these divisions, this hatred that has been experienced on the continent since slavery to the present day, it is through communication first and foremost. And it continues with neo-colonialism that is experienced today through communication. They are always trying to set us against each other. Thank God today, through our bribes, they have managed to reverse the trend of deconstructing all the lies of imperialism. We pay tribute to them for that. However, it is necessary to continue to supervise this communication. It was necessary because, as you see, they invest a lot of money in their communication, but on top of all that, they use us ourselves to finance this communication against us. You cannot understand that the victim herself gives the weapon to her executioner, that's it, to kill her. Because when I was doing the budget arbitration in 2024, I realized something very serious. And it happens in almost all African countries, especially French-speaking countries. You can imagine that in all our institutions, all our ministries, there were budget lines reserved solely for these media outlets. It was while doing the arbitration that I discovered that in each ministry, in each institution, there is a budget line dedicated to this. So a systematic transfer to media outlets like Jeune Afrique, Le Monde, and so on, and they send us their newspapers. So whether we like it or not, whether we want to read it or not, our budget was transferred to these media outlets, and they often write to destroy us, and this happens in almost all African countries and especially French-speaking countries. Better still, they found the stratagem of finding companies in our countries, generally state-owned companies that are really financially well-positioned to be shareholders in their media outlets. And you know that a media outlet does not necessarily produce anything. So if you are a shareholder, you are often forced to inject money to keep things running because you are not expecting a profit. And here too, we discovered this not long ago with the new CEO who arrived at a company. It turned out that the company in Burkina Faso is a shareholder in these media outlets and on the board of directors. It was a question of transferring money, and that is what usually happens. So he took care to report back to understand, and we told them to stop this automatically and to withdraw from their capital. Of course, they will not be able to reimburse us what they owe us, but we are not going to continue to pay them money every year. In Burkina Faso, for example, it was Lonabé that they had targeted, and it was Lonabé that was a shareholder in a media outlet like Jeune Afrique. So it goes without saying that these media outlets are fundamentally against us. They will never be able to speak well of us, and we will not allow ourselves to continue to feed them. And this is happening in many countries, and it would be good if all African countries woke up and put a stop to it. It is done in several ways by blackmailing states, heads of state, and economic operators who pay money every month or every year so that they speak well of them. We need to come to a better mind, if I may say so. Africans need to understand that these people are doing everything they can through communication to destroy us. And at some point, we need to say stop and take over ourselves. That is why I have repeatedly called on communicators and media people to communicate for our country. That is the best thing to do. Just looking at the conflicts in Africa, and the disaster they cause, we need to understand that communication is a formidable weapon. It is dangerous for us when they communicate, but it is to their advantage when they communicate against us. So there is a choice to be made. There is no one who can speak. And as soon as you speak out to speak, there is no party, there is no impartiality, you take sides. So when we call ourselves journalists or communicators today, you cannot be impartial. People have to choose whether they are for the country or against the country. This is a very important event, and we are creating structures or events where people can communicate, continue to communicate, to raise awareness among young people, to awaken Africans, and for us to return to our fundamental values and focus, unite and work for our countries. So, I invite everyone, wherever we are, no matter the situation, if we have to communicate, we must be very careful. And if we listen to the communications of certain media, we must also know how to distinguish between the two, because it is an important weapon. They can change the way you see things. They can turn you against each other through communication. So, on that note, I wish you a lot of courage for the quarter that is about to begin, which is the last one, and above all, to work extra hard so that the budget for the year 2026, which will be prepared during this quarter, can be a budget that allows us to invest optimally for our country. Thank you very much to all. I wish you a very good week, and may God protect our dear country. Country or death, we will.
Hello, and thanks everyone for joining us once again. We are most grateful for your support every time, and we appreciate your presence with us today. In today's video, we have the most important president in Africa, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, meeting his executive, his top cabinet ministers, and having to discuss very topical and important issues with them. And so we brought you the snippet. He spoke about fraud, how people have taken advantage of the good name of Burkina Faso to defraud investors. You know, when it comes to things like this, Burkina Faso has been like a shining light in Africa. And so this has brought about this investor confidence. I believe you and I listening right here, if we had the opportunity to travel to any other African nation apart from where we are right now, we will mention Burkina Faso. And so that's the kind of confidence investors have had in that country. And evil people have taken advantage and defrauding innocent people, innocent investors. And so he addressed that challenge. He also addressed two other challenges, including the foreign media. They, as an African nation, has set aside some amount of money or a budget to finance this media, who in turn do not work for their good. So he had to take action by withdrawing their finances from such media houses. We believe you took a lot of inspiration from this video. We would love you to continue subscribing, telling your others to also subscribe, like, and share our videos. Until next time, we'll bring you another great content. Peace out.
Win.